As Sesame Street approaches its 20th anniversary on public broadcasting, did you ever dream when you first started fiddling around with your very first hand puppet that you would have this much influence on television?
No, it's certainly not something one would plan to happen. It's been amazing, and things have moved really interestingly from one project to another. When Sesame Street started, we had no idea it would even be that successful in its first year. You know, this was a fairly small project that as soon as it went on the air, it got a major reaction from the press and the audience, which was very gratifying but unexpected.
I read somewhere that your first hand puppet was green. Is that the predecessor of Kermit right there?
Oh, let's see. No, Kermit is the oldest character I'm still using, because Kermit has been around for over 30 years. But no, the very first character I made was a French rat named Pierre. But he's no longer around. So. I
was hoping that you had a scrap of green material, and that was the only reason that Kermit came about.
Well, the first Kermit was made out of, I've told the story before, but out of my mother's spring coat. It was in the rag bag. And, but that version of Kermit is in an exhibit that we have that tours around called Art of the Muppets. And it's been touring around for a couple of years around art museums and things like that.
So he's still living and breathing?
He's still, yes.
That's great.
He's still around.
This movie has a blend of intense drama and blatant comedy. Is that a conscious attempt to include all ages in the audience?
I don't think it was we generally don't try specifically to create a film for the audience. I think we usually create something for ourselves. And so this was a film that we wanted to make because we wanted to see it. And we had decided after Dark Crystal we would do a lighter film. We wanted to do something that had more comedy in it. And bringing in Terry Jones from the Monty Python group to write it was part of that conscious choice to get it lighter and more humorous. And Terry's first draft of the screenplay was just wonderful. It was very funny, and he's been a joy to work with.
I noticed that a few of the supporting characters, the worm included, sport Cockney or similar dialects. Is that solely because you happen to be shooting in London?
Probably more than any other reason, yes. A lot of our performers were English, and Terry wrote a lot of those scenes with that English accent in mind, certainly the worm. But then we also interlaced all of that with a number of American voices too, so we didn't want to get the film too English, because we wanted it to work for the U.S. audience.
Now, according to Academy rules, can a puppet be nominated for an Oscar?
I don't know. I don't think so. We never have been. So it was always an interesting problem when we were doing the Muppet movies, because we thought, should Frank Oz ever be nominated for Best Actress because of Piggy? Or do you nominate Miss Piggy as Best Actor because of Frank? But we never got nominated, so it never came to it.
Well, I suppose if Hoggle was nominated, they'd have to hand out 10 Oscars.
Well, 5. There was one person inside and 4 people on the outside doing the face and all the radio control work.
Do you suppose that the Screen Actors Guild resents the loss of work to their members?
No, because these people that work, the characters are all union. They're all SAG. So instead of one person getting a part, 5 people get it. So if anything, we're employing many more actors than we need.
It occurred to me while watching The Muppets Take Manhattan that Muppets are the only actors who, when they need a touch-up, instead of a makeup brush, use a lint brush.
We use a lint brush. We come in with a spray can of paint and paint their faces and things like that, yes.
I was watching David Letterman one night, and Jack Parr was on, and he took the cameras live on television, tape delay on the West Coast, into a makeup room and thrust open a closet and displayed a room full of pipes with characters drawn all over the pipes and all over the walls, and he blamed it on you. He said that you were waiting for an appearance.
Yeah, that goes way back, and I'm just amazed that closet of pipes is still there. We did it when we were doing the Parr Show, and that had to be nearly 20 years ago, and somehow they've left them there. And we did it as a lark, and but somehow it stayed there all that time.
Have you adorned makeup rooms throughout
No,
the U.S.?
I don't think we've done that again. We've never done it since then. We only painted one set of pipes.
Were you bored? Or?
It was one of those things where we opened this closet door. We were in a little tiny dressing room, and we opened this closet door, and there was a whole wall of pipes and valves, and it was very funny. And we kind of laughed about it, and then we decided to treat it.
Paint it up.
Yes.
Did that inspire you to use pipes later on in a movie scene?
I don't think so.
I noticed the humongous sort of has that metallic jumble.
Certainly, we've created characters out of almost everything you can think of, and in this film, certainly, humongous is made out of, in theory, pieces of metal. In reality, it's things of lightweight plastic, but we've done characters from everything from that to hands. We have a couple of characters in this which are just a bunch of hands which create the faces.
Which is an amazing effect. How was the actor supported during that? It wasn't really the hands, as she felt.
No, we had Jennifer Connelly, who is the star of the film. She was in a harness, so she was supported by a rod straight out from her. It's hidden from the camera by her body, but it was not an easy situation to be in. But Jennifer's a great sport, so she was up for almost anything in this.
So now that the Muppets have taken the Labyrinth, what's next for you?
Well, I don't know what our next major film project is. I have a couple of television things that I'm working on right now. So usually, I don't know, I think something like a major feature film, I have to let this thing open and sort of settle before we decide what we might want to do next.
Well, nice meeting you, and best of luck.
Thank you very much. Nice talking to you.